And the patterns are also operating according to principle. It's not personal. Just because you're a good person and you're just so good, but you have an unconscious pattern that's resistant, lack, and limitation, you're going to struggle and suffer and be broke. And that means you have to do it even if it's hard, uncomfortable, scary. You don't want to. Derek, you don't understand my situation. None of that matters. Seriously, you could be paralyzed, lying in a bed, on your deathbed, and I would still give you the same advice. Remember, know yourself. Know thyself is the number one principle. You can't be yourself if you don't know yourself. And if you're not being yourself, you're replaceable. And you're also not going to have any support from the universe because you're not being yourself. The universe only supports what is true. All of this chain of effect where you end up on your own, struggling, resistance, and the only way the universe can get you back in alignment is through crisis and suffering. All of this starts with knowing yourself or not knowing yourself. And knowing yourself starts with being more and more present with yourself. And the most intimate way to do that is to close your eyes. Explore and be present with yourself, your body, your heart, etc. So it all starts there. I've been going to the Facebook group and commenting and viewing, and many of you have been very active in there, but not as many of you as I would like to see. So if you have not yet gotten active, I want to really encourage you to do so. It's exciting and it creates momentum. And it also creates a kind of pressure. You see people doing the work and you're like, oh man, I haven't even started. And then you feel bad and you want to look away. But the more you stay present in a group of people that are dynamically and actively up-leveling, the more chance you will have of up-leveling. As you know, the principle that you tend to become the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. Like the lift practice, the people, the places, the objects, the activities that are in your environment ever presently are what determine or create the fundamental field that is either lifting you up or pulling you down. Now, you can always transcend that field. If you're in a field that's pulling you down, like Mandela in prison for 27 years, you can dig deep enough and activate your soul power and lift yourself up and transcend that field. And in fact, that's the opportunity when you're in a lower field, when you're in a dark, dense place. It's the opportunity to dig your roots deeper and to activate more of your potential. And then you will outgrow that environment, and universe will put you into an environment where you now can bring those muscles and that strength and that wisdom, as Mandela did when he left prison and became the president of South Africa and ended apartheid and put on forgiveness tribunals. All of that happened while he was in prison, not after. Well, once I get out of prison, then he would have been done. He wouldn't have made it. He built the consciousness of a president, of a leader, of a liberated soul, of a heart of compassion, the strength of love and compassion that it takes to love and have compassion in the midst of that kind of darkness. He built that in that dark cell, in the midst of being tortured, et cetera, et cetera. So, like we talked about, was it last time or the time before, you don't set your goals that you can achieve, you set goals that you can't achieve. As Kennedy said, we will go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. So when you're in difficult situations, that's your, and believe me, you all got plenty of them. That's not an opportunity to look away. That's an opportunity to do some reps. Lift the heavy weight, carry the burden, carry your cross uphill, and get stronger. Do reps with it consciously, asking, what would I have to be? What quality would I have to embody more of so that this situation would be nothing to me? More patience, more love, more compassion, more forgiveness, more joy, more confidence, more something, right? And it's like, okay, let's do reps with that every day. And then that obstacle, that challenge, that enemy becomes an ally and a sparring partner in your workout routine to embody the character of success that you need to, and that you would have if you were living the life you want. So that's the first part. You deal with the obstacles rather in that way. And the second part is you purposely and intentionally create the dynamic pressure in your life by setting goals that are based on what you really want, not merely what you think you can get, that you don't think you can achieve yet, but you want. And that creates, again, the dynamic tension that requires you to grow. Nature is doing this all the time naturally. We have to do it consciously. Otherwise, we'll be beset by consciously uninvited crises and challenges. But really, it's an invitation from our soul to grow. So you want to go voluntarily into the path of mastery, not be dragged kicking and screaming. That is not an easy thing for you to achieve. And that's on purpose. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do everything you need to do to get the results you want. You want to be making progress toward the goal. And so if you're not making progress, there's a reason. You don't have clear goals. You haven't made a clear plan. You haven't put it on your calendar. If you haven't done those first three things, you must do those things if you want to succeed, until you've so fully embodied that you need less of that. But still, even the most successful people have goals, have plans, have schedules, because their life is designed on purpose, not on accident. So that when somebody asks you, how's your day going? You don't say, well, it's kind of hard. You say back to them, I don't know how the day's going, but I do know how I'm going about my day. How's life treating you? I don't know, but I know how I'm treating life. You want to be in the driver's seat in that way. Plan your life as if you're doing all the work, but then live it internally as if God is, as if life is, as if you are loved and supported and abundantly supplied. But you're not waiting for anybody or anything outside of you, including a God or anything, to save you. You're being the change you want to see in the world. And that's intentional and on purpose and by design. Really articulating your goals, your plan, your structure, all of that. And you need to do that, because without that, you don't know if you're making progress. And also you haven't set up the dynamic tension and the structures of accountability. Now, it's different for different people. Don't look at her goals and her structure and schedule and try to do the same. If you're like a bodybuilder and you can bench press 300 plus pounds, and another person is just starting, they still need to go in and lift weights, but they don't want to try to lift 300 pounds, so they're going to really hurt themselves. They want to lift a weight that's appropriate, but they still need to lift the weight and do the reps and have the program. You get it? So don't compare yourself to others in quantity. Compare it in principle. Am I following the core principles? Am I designing my life and my life's work based on the principles of success? Because if I'm not, that's why I'm not making progress, and I won't. If I am making real progress, even if it doesn't look exactly like anybody says it should, including me, I bet you, and I've done this for long enough to know this is true, if I look closely, you will have all those things. It just may not look the same. Your goal sheet may be a work of art with like cool images, like a vision board, and it's holistic, and it even works as a plan for you somehow, but you're still practicing the principles. You still know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, every road will get you lost. You still have a structure to get there, because if you don't, unconscious patterns will pull you off, like the plane flying. Weather and inertial forces without a flight plan will pull it off track. It will never get to its destination. The wind is not blowing the plane from LA to New York, right? So if the plane doesn't specifically have a flight plan to New York, it's not going to end up there if it lets the wind and the initial forces push it around. And our unconscious biases and map of reality and agendas is the wind and the weather of our being. And so if we don't have a plan, the weather of our being is going to never take us there until we have so fully embodied that character through the principled practice and building of habits And then that is an internalized flight plan that will automatically fly us. And when the weather knocks us off, we will pull ourselves back on automatically. It will be as hard to go off track as it was hard to get on. So that's what you want to be building. But you can't do that on accident. You have to do it on purpose. You have to do it with intention. And that means you have to do it even if it's hard, uncomfortable, scary. You don't want to. Derek, you don't understand my situation. None of that matters. Seriously. You could be paralyzed, lying in a bed, on your deathbed, and I would still give you the same advice. Because it's about principle, not about person. God is no respecter of persons. God is only a respecter of principle. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. The sun shines on the saint and the sinner. Hitler could plant a seed, and if he does the right conditions for that apple tree, it's going to become an apple tree. And if Gandhi doesn't know how to garden, and Gandhi is planting an apple seed and leaves it alone in the wrong soil without the right things, it's not going to become an apple tree. It's principle, not personal. And the patterns are also operating according to principle. It's not personal. Just because you're a good person and you're just so good, but you have an unconscious pattern that's resistant, lack, and limitation, you're going to struggle and suffer and be broke. Doesn't matter how good of a person you are. That's why good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. It's not about the person, it's about the principle and the practice that is connected to it and the habits that build, which bring you into alignment with the way life really is, right? If you align your body according to the principle of buoyancy and go into the water, you'll float. Even if you've been sinking all your life, you'll float in the moment your body aligns with the principle of buoyancy. Instantly. If you've been floating all your life, or you've been the best person in the world, but you don't align, you'll sink. So that's what we're really talking about, is building the foundation so you can build that. So you're not just a leaf in the wind of the collective consciousness of lack, limitation, and separation.